Restaurant Punk. Carapana Jonas edition.
Brothers edition.
Brothers edition. Let's go. What do we got?
So I specifically called Yanni in here for this one just because I want to know his take on it when it comes to mental health of your employees. Like, it's July.
I don't care. Next topic.
Oh, I've worked 60 hours this week. I need tomorrow off.
This person has been grinding it the fuck out mid-July, doing this and that and the other, and just like the weight of life, or just genuinely like chemically something going on in their brain to where they're having a day and they're like, I'm so sorry, I can't come in.
I see why you wanted Yanni on this episode as well, because I feel like we have different opinions on this.
Yeah. Like, and just that one day of you being a manager, an owner, a this or that, being like, your mental health is important, stay home and come back tomorrow, like feeling refreshed, like take care of yourself. I feel like that alone would have them coming back and knowing that, like, it wouldn't
mental health day,
as opposed to like taking advantage of, oh, my mental health. It's like, no, like, you genuinely looked out for me when I was having a day. Thank you for doing that. And they come back and grind harder. That little snarl.
Do you think people will take advantage of that though? At the same time, I mean, I find lots of people coming up with lots of different excuses why they can't come into work, whether it be hungover, my car broke down, this, that, and the other thing. I don't think anybody's ever said, I mentally cannot handle coming in today. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Disagreed. Maybe in not so many words. As you were talking about this topic, I'm just running through my head. Just be honest or lie. Be honest or lie. Be honest or lie. And I'm like, you know what?
This is why I wanted you here.
We're on Restaurant Punk. I'm just going to be honest. And I'm like, am I going to get blowback for this one? I will. And I could see why I would.
The cancel culture is strong.
I'm going to say that I definitely treat women differently than men. That's being honest. I think if a woman comes up to me and I could see it in her eyes, maybe because I've never had a daughter, maybe because I never had a sister, I don't know, I have a soft spot. So I think it's in the eyes.
Like
it's in the
Is it the puppy dog eyes?
Yeah, like, it works. But if I feel like I'm getting played, it doesn't work. I can see right through it. So maybe nobody's come and said, I need a but you can see it. The flip side is when a guy does it, I'm like, you know what? Do me a favor. Go home, shave your vagina and get the fuck back to work because we don't care. Nobody cares about your bullshit. Nobody cares about your life. Get to work. You're a man. You sacrifice and you. Is that too harsh? Is that too much?
That's also like something that, because don't get me wrong, hormonally, chemically, again, I feel like women have so many more trials and tribulations. Like there's a study that women should sleep more than men. Like they need more sleep because of what their body does. Is that chauvinistic
of what I'm saying? Because I feel like men should be protectors. Yeah, men should be hunters.
But I also, I'm sorry. I think that's a your generation thing.
No, I think that's just a thing. What do you mean it's a my generation
your
thing?
Age right now.
Like,
for sakes.
I've known a lot of men who have struggled with mental illness, and because that they're a man, it's the "oh come on" complex.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Can I just say whatever I want? No.
No, we have an editor. We have that punk symbol.
No, Noelle. No, unacceptable. That to me sounds like an excuse.
I don't think so. Like you have to remember that let's say Yanni, you're a perfect example. Yanni wakes up. Granted, it takes him about 2 hours to wake up.
3 hours
max.
Now.
When you wake up at 100. Like, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to conquer the world. I'm the shit. I've built this empire. I am Yanni. Hear me roar. I will destroy you.
Where's she getting this stuff from, Pete? Has my brother been telling you these things? Have you been reading my diary? What the fuck?
But there are people, men, women, who wake up at like negative 10%. And it takes them until 5 p.m. to get to 20%. And that's just because of the way that their brain is hardwired. Like you're hardwired so differently. And I know that like for men, it's just the stereotypical society telling you have to be the hunter, the provider, the protector. But that doesn't mean that doesn't take a mental wear on you in itself.
I feel like that's how it was. You have to be the hunter, the gatherer, this. And now it's
the Yanni generation.
Now it's more equality, everything equal, everything yada, yada, yada. I don't want to get into that topic, but I feel like everybody's more emotional now. Everybody's you got to watch what you say. You got to treat everybody with a certain degree of
respect.
Empathy. Empathy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like everything's
It's definitely a softer time to be living in. Like,
Are we still talking about restaurants?
yes, because this
What was
is.
it?
Are we still in restaurants right now?
We
Are we on an
are,
episode of Dr.
but this
Phil?
is just something like, again, when it comes to company culture and how you take care of your staff, because your staff is everything. Your staff is everything when it comes to your restaurant. And if you're not taking care of them, they have the ability to burn your reputation, like your status. Like, yeah, you can keep firing. But if you have a shit culture and you don't look out for the well-being, mental well-being, like, anything of your people, that they can crash and burn you.
We're all restaurateurs here, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that employees work for us? No, we work for them. And I could talk all the smack that I want on camera, but at the end of the day, Pete nailed it when it comes to empathy. I just want to make a point that I'm definitely harder on guys than I am on women. And whether it's a generational thing or not, I don't like the excuses, because I feel like half the time that they are just excuses. Like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be at work today. What do I have to do to get the out of this shift?
But
get somebody to cover it and fuck off. Enough. Don't call out on me. Don't call human resources. Don't play the victim.
But that is for someone. See, you have that reaction for someone who does it often. I'm talking about someone who has been there every single day for the last, you can't even remember how many days. Or they have just been pulling doubles 4 days a week. Anytime someone calls out, they pick up the shift.
I don't think we have. Do we have that problem, Pete?
I don't think we ever had that problem.
I don't think we had that.
People that have been with us for that long are owning their own restaurants now. They're
maybe she's talking about restaurateurs that used to be in the group. Maybe they used to work it like that, but
no names.
That's why they're not in the group anymore, because that's not how you run shit. So I think your initial question, was, for anybody watching or listening, was when it comes to mental health in the workplace, specifically in our area of expertise, I would say restaurants and bars, and I'd even put clubs in there. It's just in the service industry. If you're not in the kitchen, you have to talk to people. You have to talk to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. How well can you cover it up? Do people actually cover it up? We did a previous episode on how do you work when you're high, right? Mm-hmm. How do you do it, Noelle? Is that even possible?
I don't do that anymore.
Well, for mental health, maybe that's a numbing, something to numb yourself before you go into a shift.
It's almost like, because some people smoke just to be tranquil. Other people smoke because it brings them up, and again, brings them to that 60% when they woke up at 20.
Does it help their mental health though? Overall?
Scientifically, I'm pretty sure that's been proven.
You really want to get into that on Restaurant Punk?
Look, there's different ways. I mean, if you think about it, let's take one of our own restaurants, for example. Nico's is Vintage. I think Nico's is very empathetic with most, if not all of his staff, from the kitchen to the front of the house.
Agreed.
And now let's take George's place. Let's take George's place. He's
night
does
and
he
day.
run it the same way? Is he as empathetic as Nico is? George has his soft spot, but he's a little tougher than Nico's. And then Yanni, I think Yanni would be tougher than George. But do you think all their staff members and people that work for each and every one of them respect them in a different way or at a different level? Do you think Nico's gets more respect from his staff than George gets from his?
I hear George bitch about his staff more than I've ever heard Nico bitch about his.
But George has the largest staff, and they're an army, and they'll follow him anywhere.
Well, he's outnumbered, so I feel like he has to be like that.
But he made it that way. He grew himself organically the way he runs his place. And there's times when he's like, well, tough shit, I need you here. It's 4th of July. And Nico's is like, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. Take the night off. Totally understand. But they still respect.
Well, the three of us have been employees and we're also owners. How would you differentiate mental health between being an employee and being an owner? It's two different types of stresses. And, when somebody comes into ownership as an employee, it's like, oh my God, this is so much worse. But the payoff is tenfold. So mental health.
I had a mental breakdown yesterday. That's literally why I'm bringing this up. I had a full-blown menty-b, y'all.
It's almost like I read your mind.
It was bad.
It's just two different.
I'm a first-time restaurateur. Let's be super clear in all of this.
Right. But based on your talent, based on me watching you in the front of the house, based on everybody seeing your work ethic, based on doing the work that you've been doing now for how many months for free, because entrepreneurs, restaurateurs work for free, right? To create value. We're here to create value from nothing. Mm-hmm. Is it worth the stress? You might not think it right now, but it will be.
I know it is.
You know it. You can just feel it, right? So
that was the thing is yesterday, and Peter asked, he came up to me and he's like, what's wrong? What can I do to help? What's the problem?
Empathetic.
Empathetic. And I looked at him. I said, it's annoying that you're asking me that. I love you and I'm sorry, but I don't know what the problem is. I was like, I'm tired. I'm stressed. I'm broke.
Did you stop smoking too?
Yeah, I just stopped smoking nicotine. Huge.
Yeah, great timing, Noelle.
Huge reason.
Great timing.
I'd say 90% of the reason why I snapped yesterday. But I looked at him. I was like, I'm tired.
You snapped on who? Pete? You snapped on my brother?
No, I didn't snap on him.
See, and this is what I was talking about before. What's the difference between a guy and a female? Right now, I'm like, did you snap on my brother? Let's say you were a guy. And I say, hey, you snap on my brother? There would be physical contact. You know what I mean? Violent.
No, I've never.
You can't get mad at me.
Did I snap? Was it like a full blown
snap? She snapped. I could tell you snapped.
I think you were just frustrated. It caught up to you to a certain point, and I was like, okay.
Are you guys going to be able to work together at Petunia? BYOB when it opens up?
Even then, I looked at him and I was just honest, and I said, "Listen, I'm tired, exhausted, broke, creatively and mentally, just like a block, like something hit." But I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wow, the reward is going to be ridiculous. Look at this beautiful house I'm in. My life is so good. And when Peter said why, I'm like, I don't know why. I know how grateful I am.
Let out the rage, Noelle. You should be in the kitchen.
I was like, I feel so grateful for the opportunity, for everything that I have in my life, and for someone who's as empathetic as he is to be in my life, which was so frustrating as to why I was like, I don't know why I'm mad. And I went to the smoke shop to get nicotine, and I was like, how much are your CBD pens? And they told me $60, and I walked out.
$60 for a CBD pen? No, do me a favor.
1 week nicotine free.
Yeah, great. I think you should go back to it.
Probably will.
How about we close on this? Your initial question was regarding mental health, and can you be more specific?
Just how you handle mental health as an owner or manager with your employees.
Let's finish up with this. Why don't you tell anybody out there that's watching or listening how you feel right now pre-owning? In other words, like right now you're in purgatory. In the beginning is exciting. Right before you open, you're at the stage that you're in. What advice would you give to anybody that wants to open up a restaurant or a bar now that you're going through the process and you're in the middle of it? Is there anything you could tell them to make their life better?
Be grateful for the opportunity you have at hand. It sucks and it's stressful every step of the way, but the opportunity is going to be backed with reward, and take it step by be organized in your process.
No, I'm gonna stop you right there. That's a great textbook, graceful answer. Can you get a little more real? Because you just went into a zone a couple minutes ago. And
I said,
what can they do to make it easier?
Call a therapist.
Yes. I was gonna say you can do nothing, but you know what? You heard our restaurant punk.
Cry at the bottom of your shower.
Yes.
Call your mom. She'll always make you feel better.
You know what else would make you feel better besides
weed.
A therapist and your mom and weed? No
nicotine.
Nicotine.
Just go downstairs in the kitchen and make yourself a tang sandwich. You know what a tang sandwich is now, don't you, Noelle?
I sure do.
You goddamn right you do.
You can look below for the recipe.
Restaurant punk, mental health. Talk to your mom.
Checked out.
Therapy, and then open your restaurant and everything will be great.
Yes.
Restaurant punk.
Peace and grease.
Adios.